Then let it be. I don't know what it done told you. Don't let them fold you. Keep it the letter G. Humble yourself with the patience. You gotta pace to get where you wanna be. All the pain just show that you seasoned. Gotta believe it. Just give me the cheat code. And none of the struggles come with the glory. Tell them to keep those. All of the pain just come with the game. I treat them like free throws. All of the evil sticking around. I had to delete those. Yeah, I had to defeat those. Just give me the cheat code.
What's going on, y'all? All right, let me pull up the chat, make sure I don't miss you all. Today, we're going to talk about the VIX, the volatility index, okay? Not to be really mixed up with all those other ones you hear about, okay? This is the actual volatility index. So I want to talk about the VIX, what it is, how you can use it as a trader and an investor, what levels you want to look for on the VIX, and really how to use it to your advantage to become more successful. And so this is going to be a continuation of the last few videos that we've been doing. If you followed along, you've seen us chart the supports and the resistance. You've seen us use the dollar across every market to chart gold, equities with the S&P 500, everything, right? So if you want those videos, make sure you tap in with our lives. Just go over to our YouTube. Let me actually pull that up right here because it's really simple for y'all, man. Just go over to the YouTube, click live. Boom, they're all right here for you. You can click these. Like I said, we've gone over how to set up trade alerts, how to do moving averages, and how to use them with trading. Supports and resistance right here, when to be bullish and bearish. Also, a powerful strategy with the dollar index, okay? So make sure you all go to YouTube TV. Make sure you subscribe as well. Click on the lives tab. You can get all these classes as well. And so this video will live there, so you can come back to it and get all this information for totally free. Prosperous day, Ray J. I appreciate that, man. It was a prosperous day because what's beautiful is that we literally gave y'all the cookbook. We gave you all of the ingredients. We told you, hey, the dollar's low. Use that to your advantage. It's going to support. The VIX is also going to support, right? We notice all these things that are inverses to the market heading down to support, right? And then we see them rally up out of these lows, right? And if you go back and look at the videos, you can see where we charted all of this. We literally walk you through the trade. So what I want to do now is actually show you all why the VIX is so important. Because a lot of people are so overly zealous when it comes to just entering the market and just being like, oh, this is such a great price, you know, right? Well, like when it comes to fundamental analysis, that tells you what to buy, right? And it really tells you what price is the best at value, right? So you're going through fundamental analysis when you're doing that. So that's about what you want to buy. But technical analysis tells you when to buy these things or when to sell them, if that's what you want to do as well, right? If you're looking to trade, whether you're looking to invest, you want to be able to use the VIX to your advantage. And the VIX is the volatility index, okay? So what this is a real-time market index of volatility, right? And what this is actually forecasting is the volatility over the next 30 days. But it's a whole formula that takes data from the S&P 500 calls and puts, right? So that's why I say for options traders, for investors, for whatever you're doing in the market, you want to pay attention to this because it's basing it off of the data that's in your market, right? So when we're watching the volatility index, one thing that I want to, and drop a one if you understood everything so far. Let's see how many. Oh, we got some folks streaming. Let's go. How y'all doing today? Y'all blessed? Were y'all prepared for today? Did you see it coming because you've been following along? All right, I'm not going to hold you up any longer, but I appreciate y'all being here with me. So we're going to go over the VIX. So when we have the VIX, I'm looking at the daily. Remember, I'm always using larger time frames. I want to be able to spot bigger trends, larger moves in the market because it gives you a lot more patience and you can have a lot more time for movement, okay? And you can just be patient, right? Let things come to you. So one thing that we noticed was the VIX coming down, right? Now, when I put this next to the dollar, remember that these things have inverse relationships to the market. So I'm going to pull up the SPX right here so you can see that. So what we have here to the left is the VIX. To the right, we have the market. Okay. So I'm going to zoom this out a little bit, and I'm going to zoom this out a little bit, right? So when the market was at its lows, the VIX was at its highs, okay? Number one. All right, now when the VIX is at its lows, the market's at its resistance, okay? It's pretty simple, right? It's pretty simple, right? You just got to have patience to wait for these things, okay? So if you want to be, let's say you want to be bearish, right? You're wanting to come in, and this is not financial advice, but if you want to be bearish, right, and you see the market coming up. Now this yellow line here is a previous resistance where we had rejection here. Okay, so that's something that I want to note because it got rejected there, but not only there, it got rejected here from the past as well. So anytime you want to know where something is going or where it's been, always look left. You don't need a crystal ball, just look left. Okay, so what we notice here is when the market is going and it's running into this resistance, right? And we can even, for the S&P 500, we can say 4,200 is a psychological resistance as well. So, right, if we know that the market is rallying its way up to 4,200 on the S&P 500 and you want to be bearish, right? And then you come over here and you see at the moment that it hits 4,200 that the VIX is falling to support with a yellow caution candle. That can let you know, hey, this caution candle is saying, hey, whoa, wait, what's happening right now may reverse, okay? There's some things going on that you need to be aware of, right? So this caution candle gave us a warning here. But this red indicator did the same thing, and that's on the S&P 500. So when you use these things, they give you an advantage of when you need to be bullish or bearish or when you need to be buying assets or deploying capital, right? So when we use these things, like I said, when the VIX is high, the market is low. Let me stretch this back out so you can see it. When the VIX is high, the market is low, right? So whenever the VIX is above 30, these are where the cream of the crop. This is when everybody's fearful. Now, let me step back a moment and break down the VIX again, because the VIX is a measure of volatility, right? So if volatility increases in the market, that means the range in which prices can move has increased, right? The volatility has increased, right? Things more volatile are coming. So the lower this goes, that means that the more greed and complacency there is in the market, right? And that's when we have that hopium. Everybody's like, oh man, we in the so-and-so phase where we keep going up from here. We just started from the bottom. No, you didn't, because the VIX is actually at the bottom. And when the VIX is at an area where it can get support, you're actually at an area where you need to be protecting your assets, right? Or finding a way to hedge, right? This isn't financial advice. We're just using charts and looking at some colors on the screen, but it doesn't take much to see the correlation that we have here that's going to help you take an advantage on what you know now, right? By looking at the screen. So if you understand what I'm saying so far, drop a 1 in the chat. We got some ones in the chat. Buenos dias, el rey. Yo soy rey. Oh, buenos dias. Actually, it's buenas tardes aquí en Mexico. ¿Cómo estás, mi amigo or hermano? I'm going to bring más contenido para español para mis amigos con hablas en español también. Okay, so I got you. I'm down here in Mexico learning Spanish, learning how that works as well. So stay tuned for some Spanish content. We're going to teach y'all how to really take this whole trade and travel thing and get all international on them and stuff, So, all right, let's continue. Sorry, I see the ones in the chat. You all are understanding. So it's pretty simple, right? When the VIX is higher, that means there's opportunities in the market. That's why this line of 30 is green, right? And this line of 20 is red, okay? It's just clear as day. Anytime the VIX comes down here, I'm not buying, period, because I see what happens when we're down here, right? Now, when the VIX spikes up, like I said, it pulls the market down. Anytime the VIX spikes up, the market's coming down, right? Because that means the volatility is increasing. Like I said, as the volatility increases, the price in which things can move increases as well. So we can see as the VIX went up, so did this drop in price, showing you that the volatility had increased right here, right? The market's all red right here, but the VIX is all green, okay? So these are things that you can use to your advantage when you're trading and investing, because point blank, period, you don't need to be, now, okay, let's pull up the dollar, because like I said, if you haven't watched our video on the dollar strategy, you need to watch it. So I'm gonna pull up the dollar because I can show you how the dollar is actually relevant to the VIX as well. because they're both inverses to the market, right? So they're here to support each other, right? So as the dollar is high, so is the VIX, right? Look at the correlation between this, right? You can see this dip in the VIX happened just like the dollar, right? And then they both spiked up, right? And when they started to come down, you can see they both broke down, right? So when the VIX came down here to support and you see this caution candle here, you can use the VIX as an indicator to say, okay, the VIX is saying that I'm low. And you look at our squeeze here, giving us, if you don't know how to turn on your divergences, make sure you go to the settings for your CCA squeeze, turn those on because they're a huge support for you. It's going to show you where these divergences are happening. And so you can see this hidden bullish divergence here before on the squeeze, right? So we signaled here with the caution candle, right? And then the swing has been in the red, just like, hey, you're low, 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 right? We're in an oversold type of area right down here, right? So when this triggered here, that means that there's a crossover in the actual direction of this trend, right? So that's signaled here. We got the hidden bullish divergence. You can see the squeeze giving this trend strength. It starts to pull up. You can see the dollar did the exact same thing. So when you see these signals, you can use that as an indicator to say, if the volatility is low, let me go check the dollar. Oh man, the dollar has got a caution candle too with a regular hidden divergence, and our swing here, if we stretch it out, you can see it's signaled as well, right? So you got all these people online telling you to buy stocks, but you over here looking at the VIX like, hey, I think the VIX about to come out of support, and when it comes up, it pulls equities down. So maybe I need to be patient and see what comes next, right? And so when then you look at the dollar, after you watch our dollar index strategy video, right, you can then look at this and say, God dang, we got like a 4 for 4 here. We got the buy signal, caution candle, regular bullish divergence here. You got the squeeze signal and the swing. Like, what more do you need to know that the dollar is about to go bullish? And when the dollar goes up, right, it pulls equities down. There's a whole video about explaining why that happens as well, because the dollar is weighted against these equities, right? So as your dollar moves up in value, the amount of dollars it takes to purchase assets goes up and down, right? So you want to pay attention to the dollar. It's going to change your life. Watch that video. It's so many travel hacks in there. If you stay around to the end of this one too, I'm going to give you one trick with our cheat code trading cards too. I'm going to show you a trick with these. So everybody's still understanding. Right now we're looking at the VIX. Okay, so everybody understands the VIX and how this can be used to measure volatility and best times to really find better opportunities to be bullish or bearish in the market. So when we're watching over the VIX, just drop a 2 or a question. Make sure you're dropping questions in there too, because I want to be here to use this as a live Q&A as well to answer any questions that you have. But I'm going to make this short and sweet, get right to the point. You came here to learn, so I'm going to give it to you. So when we're looking at the VIX, right, when we look at where we are now is here, right? So this is, today is February 22nd, the day before where it gapped up here, right? And I told you this 20 level on the VIX is what you got to watch. So once it reclaimed the 20 here, you know that the fact that it literally closed this day, that it closed above 20, you knew that, okay, the market said the VIX is above 20, alert, 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 right? And the next day it completely gapped up, right? Bringing the market down, right? But what's funny is, if you look back at the last time that we were at this level and it gapped up, it was August 22nd before September 2022. And we all know what happened there, right? So when you see these things, you can be prepared for things like March, which is historically bad, but one of the best months for returns, because what happens is so many people find demand in March and it really helps it rally back. Like let's look at what happened in March of 2022, right? Even though the market literally collapsed even then. I mean, let's look back as early as September, right? Let's go to September. All right, so you can see the market literally September 12th, it broke down, right? And on that caution candle we got, it was here, August 22nd, right? Or August 22nd was the day that it broke up on the VIX, okay? Let's actually pull it, let's pull it up side by side. I want you to see this play by play. I'm about to get y'all to play by play on the VIX and the market right now. Y'all your minds are about to be blown. Okay, so remember we circled this area. Actually, I have to put it on this chart because this is where I have all the circles and stuff. So we got the VIX on the left, and we're going to put the S&P 500 on the right. Okay, so let me make this a little bigger so we can stretch this out for you. So when we go back to September, which was over here, all right, so we're looking at September. Now remember, like I said, VIX was right at this 20 level, right? You got the caution candle here on the 19th. Okay. Oh my God. You got the caution candle here on the 19th. Also, almost looks like an inverted hammer. I'm not sure. I'd have to zoom in, but yeah, I mean that's a bearish. I mean that's a bullish candle right here. So you got the caution candle here. You look over here, exact same day you got the caution candle on the VIX telling you that the trend was about to change. Hey, caution, be wary. You got the caution candle on the S&P 500, and it's above this resistance at 4,200. So you know this is already an area of supply. Remember, supply and demand, right? This is demand, this is supply. Supply is resistance. Demand is your support, okay? Because demand is when people want it. Oh, they want it when it's lower prices, right? And supply is, oh man, I got to start unloading, right? So when people start selling, there's a whole lot of supply, right? So that's why I call it supply and demand. It's support and resistance, okay? So when we see it, it's above this resistance level, and just there's so much supply about to hit the market, right? And like I said, when you look at the VIX, it's warming up. It's got the caution candle, spikes up, right? Pulls it down. Now, we can see here at the end of September, everybody found demand in what happened. That's why I'm saying get prepared, get ready. If you ain't ready, you need to be ready, right? Because just because the VIX is setting up for a warning sign doesn't mean that it may spike and give you opportunities for better prices, right? So pay attention to these things in the market, because you can take advantage of these things. Because even when you look at what happened in September, it didn't take long for this thing to gap up in the first week of October. Once people realize, and you've got the cheat code, you can see all these caution candles, green indicator, buy signals, got the signal on the squeeze signal over here. And then you have the exact opposite on the VIX, right? Caution candle, red indicator, right? You have a regular divergence, bearish divergence. You have signals right here on the swing. So you already know, hey, the VIX is about to cool off, which is good for stocks, right? So when you see that, all right, let's go. And the lower this thing goes, the more comfortable you can get, right? But once this thing gets too low, hey, caution, held up, warning, right? Because the VIX is measuring the volatility, right? It's going to go up and down, because over the time of the market, that's what is happening, right? There are times when we go down, and there are times when the VIX is down and we go up. Right. But even then, when the VIX starts to spike up, it can still pull the market down. That's why you have to pay attention to it. Right. And just because it spikes up doesn't mean you're going to run back up to 30 and run a rut. Right. If we reach an area of demand, which was here, right, if you see a lot of consolidation plus a reversal here, you can tell that if we come back to this price and you see that the VIX is getting some support, then you need to be a little more cautious, because when it's going up, it ain't going nowhere. The market's not going anywhere, right? But what you saw was the VIX going up and the market's consolidating, which was letting you know that, hey, the VIX is giving itself some room to come back down, right? So anytime it does that, if you're saying that, hey, I see an opportunity, I think these could reverse. You see the squeeze really changing the trend right here. The swing signaled here as well. You got the buy signal. That could give you confidence to say that, well, I mean, I see a buy signal here, and the VIX does have some room. It's at 23 or 2250. It does have some room to pull back down below 20. Okay, cool. That gives me some room to run, right? And as the VIX consolidates, the market has room to continue running. Right. But once that VIX finds support, it's going to pull that market down. That's why you want to pay attention, because whenever it spikes, it's going to pull it down. Right. So pay attention to that. Just as in terms of long-term opportunities, like I said, the best opportunities are going to come when the VIX is the highest. Like even when we stretch this out a little more. Right. And let's say we back this up a little. Even when you see it's here, VIX is the highest, we got another opportunity here, right? Or we hit this area. And all these, what I'm looking at when I'm charting things, right? You can watch the support and resistance video, but all the lines that you see on the chart are from previous price levels that I'm using on larger time frames. So I'm usually going into something like a monthly or a weekly, trying to spot these types of trends. And then you can just come in here and set these levels. Now for the VIX, let's see. You can see here that it mainly just stays within this range. Right now, 2022, the market, or 2020, when the pandemic happened, the VIX just completely rocketed, right? Because the market was collapsing. I mean, the world was collapsing. I'm going to be honest. I thought it was time for zombie apocalypse. I thought the pandemic was going to turn folks into zombies. I just wasn't sure. So, but I digress. But you can see what happens. The market, the VIX spikes, so the market goes into a rut. But whenever you see this, you can say, hey, all right, if the VIX is this high, it can only get better from here, right? So pay attention to these things. Like I said, use the VIX to your advantage. I'm not going to hold you all any longer, but do you have any questions before I go? This has been a video on the VIX, okay? If you go to our Instagram, we had a free text that we've been set up. We just got it back on. So if you don't have access to the free text alerts with the free ones, go to the Instagram. There's a number that you can text, or you can drop a comment on the content, or there's Trade Heroes. And now if you're in Trade Heroes, let me actually take y'all over to the Discord really quick so I can show you what's in here. Because if you're on Discord, or if you have our Trade Heroes, you can actually come in here. Let's see, we got the public chat room right here. So anytime you want to go join for free, this is totally free. You can come in here. There's free videos. There's free content. This is a chat room full of people from all over the world as well. But our premium is right here. So you got mindset classes. But if you're on Trade Heroes, if you don't get the texts, we actually have a channel for you here as well. So if you're international, or maybe you're an expat and you live in another country and now you have a number from that particular place, if you sign up for Trade Heroes, we got you on a Discord channel as well. So you can come here and get that. But if you're premium, we got all kinds of stuff in here for you. We got courses, classes. We host mindset classes. You can also join our live streams, chat rooms, trade ideas. It's ridiculous. Okay. And also cheat code algo. If you don't have cheat code algo, you played yourself, because you'll be able to see these things like the caution candles and stuff, and be prepared for things like September, things like March, right? So be prepared. When it comes to what I think is going to happen next, I'm not a genie. I'm not, I'm not even going to say I can sit here and predict what happens, right? Because I don't have the money to move the market like that. But I can take advantage of these movements when the opportunity creates itself. So be patient for that. But what I'm seeing here is right now on the VIX, we're at this entry level, right? So when you compare that to where we are in the market, and you pull that up next to that, you can see that the trend has changed on the market. Now, remember though, things don't go straight down and they don't go straight up. So remember, as this thing gaps down, it could use this level here. If the S&P 500 is able to reclaim that 4,000 level and really move back up, it could really try to retest this stop loss level before March. But I'm going to tell you right now, bulls have got a rough week ahead, but it could be some little bit of insight with the PCE coming up. We have also on, I believe, Friday, we have GDP. So pay attention to that. That's going to be the health of the American economy. Okay. So if you want to learn more about how all of that stuff affects the stock market, make sure you go over to the live, click on this. How does it affect inflation? How does it affect stocks and investments? Watch that video. I'm going to break down bonds, inflation, the inflation data that comes out, GDP, rate hikes, all of that is right here in this video. Also, we got some stuff, how to set up trade alerts so you don't have to sit here and wait. So when it comes to the VIX, right, just when it comes to setting up trade alerts, if you want to come here and you want to be bullish, you're looking for long-term opportunities, what you want to do is set an alert for the VIX, okay? You want to come in here and go to the VIX, go to cheat code algo, and turn it to sell, right? Because you want the trend to change on the VIX, right? You can even turn it to a bearish trend change, right? Or bearish trend confirmation, right? But you want either one of these signals to be on the daily, right? Or maybe the 4 hour, whichever you prefer, or whichever, one you prefer. Look on it, make sure it works for your trading strategy as well as your risk tolerance, okay? Because it's going to come in here. It's going to tell you that the trend has changed. It's going to tell you, hey, there's a sell signal on the VIX, and that could set up a potential bullish momentum for you. So you want to pay attention to that, because if you're looking for support in the market, you want to look for resistance on the VIX, okay? So pay attention to the VIX. I hope this helped. If it didn't, drop us a question. We want to make sure you are learning something here. So like I said, we have a free Discord channel for you all, as well as a text. So I'll be sending some texts out to you all. Plus, you can use that number to text us and ask questions. Even if you got some ideas for what we can do some videos about, something you want to learn a little more, drop us a comment. We'll bring it out here. I appreciate y'all coming here. You didn't have to be here, but you showed up, and I appreciate it. It means that you're hungry, you're passionate, and I'm wishing the best for you. And always remember that patience pays, okay? All right? People always ask me, like, how do you stay so patient? How do you stay so calm in the market? I allow things to come to me, okay? So when you know all of these things, you watch all of those videos, you can put all of that information together and find better opportunities and know when to be bullish and when to be bearish, okay? So y'all stay blessed, and man, y'all stay tuned for the next one. Make sure you click that like button, like. I want to know that y'all like this, so I keep doing it, because if I don't see likes, I'm going to lose encouragement. I ain't going to have the passion to show up. You know what I'm saying? Share this with a friend too, because each one teach one, right? If somebody didn't share this knowledge with me, I wouldn't be in front of you here today. And I'm so grateful that they shared it with me. So I want you to do the same for somebody else. Pass this knowledge on, and I appreciate y'all, and I will see you for the next one. Holla.